We'll throw a little bit of wood on the fire first before we start anything. Get these hot coals exposed. And instant heat, just like that. Dog loves laying down here. Can't say I blame her. Get her handy dandy drill, and she's mad about something. So I gotta unload this little bit of wood that's in here first, before anything. So we'll grab a couple of these pallets, and I got a much bigger stack than this. Now I know what you might be thinking, a pickup truck would be easier, and it would, but the battery's dead on that. I know, shocker. Those are pretty long, but they should work for our side supports. Have to watch we don't hit anything. Coming up on Chicken City here. They like to come out of the fence. Got some oak logs here I need to cut up yet. Cut it down hoping it was dry, and it wasn't, unfortunately. So this area is where we want to build our house later down the road. And right now there's a motocross track up here, and this is where the majority of our planting goes. Right there you can see the wheat that I have planted right now. So I have, I think, the majority of what I need, or what I think I'm gonna need for wood down at the house where we're living currently. So I'm gonna start stacking the firewood up here, and I'm gonna build obviously some firewood racks. And I'm trying to think of the best place to do it. I could do it over in there, but it's looking like this. I mean, it kind of slopes down, and there's sloping, you know, that way. So it almost seems, and I don't want to have to move it down the road. So, you know, when we do build and they have to like grade our driveway or whatever in, you know, that this isn't in the way, because that's just gonna, that would be stupid. Then I got to move everything. So I may try and do it up in here where I can kind of keep it, you know, along the wood line better. However, with it sloping so much, you know, the prevailing winds are going to come across the field this way and probably blow it all over. So I don't know, I might be kind of at a losing battle, or I put it over along that side. I don't really know what to do, because it's, I don't know. You can put a roof over these, you can put tin over the top, or you can put a tarp. I'm just going to be doing a tarp because it's so much simpler and costs a lot less. So you want to make sure that you build this, you know, sized properly to your tarp. So if you have an 8x10 tarp, a 20x30, whatever size tarp, you want to build your rack according to that size so you can lay your tarp right over the top and you're not overlapping, it's not hanging, whatever. So I think I'm gonna put it right in here and go probably this way with it, just because I feel like down there it's gonna stick out probably about 8 feet. It's gonna be 8 feet wide but 20 foot deep. So if I go that way, it's gonna kind of be probably where excavation is gonna have to take place for the driveway. So I think if we go this way, it won't start to slope terribly hard to the point where, you know, it's gonna be blowing everything over. And I can add some supports in the back too that, you know, it may not do that. So I'm gonna trim some of this brush so I can get it tucked back in even further. We're gonna go obviously that way. Now, a lot of other people, or you know, you may say, oh, you got to level that, you got to go through all the blah 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 stuff. It doesn't really have to be perfect in my book. Some people say your ends, which I'll show you here. When you go to put your end on, you're gonna have to obviously put it on like this. A lot of people will tell you, you know, you got to have this perfectly plumb. Well, I don't really get the reasoning behind that. So, you know, why make more work for yourself if you don't really have to? So, you know, eyeball it, get it close. Obviously don't have it like this and don't have it like the opposite direction leaning, but get it close. Get it so it's looking, you know, semi-close, and that brush is going to hold it, you know, from falling until I can get the supports on there. And that's going to be the first one. So I think, if I can find my tape measure, I believe these are what, 3-4 feet? Yeah, so these are about 3 foot 4 inches. So it's gonna be a little under 8 foot like I was hoping, which actually I can actually spread it there. So we'll have another one in there in between. I could just make it one length and just run it a huge span, but I don't know. I'd rather just kind of do it this way, even though it will stick out a little bit more. This way seems a little bit better, that you're going to be able to get more wood in it. And who knows, hopefully I don't have to move this down the road, but you never know. So that's actually only not even 7 feet. So even letting a gap there, it's only going to be, you know, around 7 feet. So I'd have to come all the way even further to make it 8 foot. Basically at this point, we'll be able to cut our support ends there. And then you're gonna have this going from the back corner back here and going up to your upper support like that. And that's what's gonna hold it, you know, from going one way or the other. And then you can screw into the bottom as well. So it's kind of a tough spot because it is, you know, where it is, the positioning of it. So basically, you're gonna do that for, you know, everything. You're gonna pretty much run a track of 2 of these, 2 wide, for 7 foot width, running the whole way out through, you know, kind of like it is. So you'll have another support right here, and then obviously those are gonna be running out. So you have 2 tracks running the whole length out through there, and I'm doing 20 feet. So you're gonna have 20 feet worth of these, and then 7 foot wide. So you'll have another support right here standing up, and then you'll have supports going down, and then same thing over there at that end. So that's pretty much one end. You know, obviously I didn't plumb anything. It's just eyeballing because this isn't level anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm out of skids, so I need to actually run and get some more. So we're on evening number 2 of the firewood rack. I get another load of 6 skids here. We got put down what I brought up yesterday before the camera got janky. So we'll get these other 6 laid out here, see how far it gets us. I'm not quite sure how far we are now. It might be like 15, 16 feet, something like that. So we'll get these out here. My end goal is going to be about 40 feet, and I don't remember quite where that was, but we'll measure it out and kind of see where we're at. So I got those other 6 laid down, and I think to this one here it comes to 20 feet. So we got quite a ways to go yet. We're gonna be like way up in there. And the only thing that really makes me nervous is like these last 3 from like there over to here, it's really sloping down. And that just makes me nervous account of, you know, I'm gonna stack this full of wood and all the pile is gonna just topple over and fall down there. I contemplated moving it over there because it is a lot more flat, and running it from like lengthwise, starting there, running it up. I'm trying to think of how, you know, getting airflow through the whole pile, and the pile is going to be running this way obviously, so it could be, you know, easily the airflow is going to go through it. It's still outside, so the airflow is going to hit it. Sunlight over there, you got all the trees that are going to shadow it, so I don't know, it's kind of a catch-22, I guess. I think what I'm going to do is just leave it here, try it here, so I don't have to move everything. And then, you know, we'll see what happens, and I may be able to shim the back as far as when I do my stacking, lay some pieces this way lengthwise and, you know, shim everything up. So you could actually run these pallets and flip them, so like they're like this, and run them like that. So when you throw your logs on here, and let's just imagine that this is our log, so the way I'm going to be stacking it is like this, and running this way and that way. You could potentially flip the skid to where you're stacking like this and running lengthwise, but I feel like I got more length doing it the way I did it, and I'm not really worried about it falling down in those slats because the slats are so close together, minus that one right there where they're a little bit more open. But again, that's really not a huge deal either. So I'm out of skids and I need to go get some more. So we got a load of 7 more, and this is all of them. This is all I got left. We're almost at, I believe, 30 feet right there. I think 30 feet was like up in here. So we don't have too much further to go. However, I do need 2 more. I have to steal 2 for the ends, just like we did down there. So I don't know if I'm gonna get to 40 or not, but we're gonna see how far it gets us. So the way it is right now, measuring from all the way at the end all the way here, it looks super long, but it fools you. This is 35 feet. I could stretch these skids apart and, you know, in all the seams, and just push it a little bit to reach my extra 5 feet to get me out to 40, but I'm really not worried about it, and I'd rather have them all touching, just so nothing moves and so on and so forth. So the only thing I can see I have to do is, you know, obviously take these 2. And this one's a little bit shorter, I believe, the front one here, which I don't really think that's going to be too big of an issue. But mount them one here, throw our cross braces on, and, you know, we may have to trim some of those. But then that's pretty much it. So there it is, 35-foot firewood rack. Super simple, super easy. You can get skids anywhere. A lot of places give them away for free. Now these are not screwed together. These are basically just to keep the wood off the ground, so you know air can be underneath it. But this should hold a lot of wood, and I can tell you how much it is. There's 128 cubic feet in firewood. So this is 35 times, let's say we go 5 foot high, and times 7. Divide that by 128. This will approximately hold 9.5 cords. So that's a decent amount of firewood, and I'm just hoping it doesn't all fall over. So there you have it, firewood rack done, and it's super easy. It's extremely easy. I mean, I did this in 2 evenings, and you could do this in like an hour or 2. It's really not that big of a deal. You have some supports on this end, screw them together, screw those 2 skids together. So your end platforms are pretty much, you know, they're all one. Everything in the center is all pieced together. And you can do this a bunch of different ways. You know, you could put a back on it, you could put roof on it, you could do anything. I'm just gonna buy tarps, because this is pretty much probably gonna be a temporary thing for right now, because it may need to be moved later. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and maybe you learned something and you can put this on your farm, your homestead, wherever. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe. There's going to be tons more content coming. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.